Exposing Antarctica, Secret Space Program, Underground Bases, Reptilians, Nordics, Nephilim, Anunnaki. In Dr. Michael Sala's latest book, Antarctica's Hidden History, we learn about the Thule Society, the German Secret Space Program, the Reptilians, the Nordics, and so much more. A brief summary of his book is here below. German Secret Space Programs. Before World War II, Hitler was supported by German Workers' Party, who later became his party, the Nazi Party, and German Workers' Party was soon to be supported by the Thule Society once they realized what an asset all this was. The Thule Society believed in a mysterious force called the Vril, V-R-I-L. The Vril, a force that could be harnessed by individuals, and their aim was to gain power using this force. With the help of a psychic called Maria Orsic, who telepathically communicated with inner-Earth humans, they obtained information and plans to build flying saucers, and the Thule Society started to produce these flying saucers. During the Second World War, when the Germans realized they were losing, the Thule Society transferred all their manpower, knowledge, and technology to the Antarctic. The Thule Society split into two separate groups. The Thule Society was working with reptilians from Earth, and Maria Orsic was working with Nordics from the inner Earth. Antarctica is about the same size as the USA and Mexico combined. It has 3 large mountain ranges and approximately 138 volcanoes, so there was plenty of room for both groups to expand. The Thule Society group wanted power, and when they moved to the Antarctic, they took many slaves along with them. Both groups carried on with their work in Antarctica, one with the help of the Reptilians and the other with the help of the Nordics. And the U.S. intervenes. The U.S. was aware of the Germans in Antarctica, tried to come to agreement with them. In 1946, Rear Admiral Richard Byrd went down to the Antarctic to destroy these bases. This was called Operation Highjump. 4,700 military, 6 helicopters, 6 Martin PBM flying boats, 2 seaplanes, 15 other aircraft, 13 Navy supply ships, and 1 aircraft carrier accompanied Rear Admiral Byrd. Operation Highjump's cover story was said to be one of scientific research in the area. Really, it was a military force against a secret enemy. The mission was supposed to last 6 months, but it only lasted 8 weeks. The German secret space program technology was far too advanced for Admiral Byrd and his military to overcome, and he was defeated. Many of the UFOs originally seen flying around at this time were the secret space program UFOs by Germany, and 1952 UFOs appeared over the White House. At the time, they were thought to be aliens from another planet, but really it was the Germans showing off their hardware. In February 1954, Eisenhower had a secret meeting at Edwards Base with Maria Orsic and the human-looking Nordics, and they attempted to dissuade Eisenhower to continue with nuclear weapons and warned about the Germans who worked with the Reptilians. Maria Orsic's group wanted peace and the new technology to benefit all of mankind. Ultimately, Maria wanted humanity to be part of the galactic community, and Eisenhower rejected their offer. In February 1955, Eisenhower had another secret meeting, and this time with the German and Reptilian group at Holman Air Force Base, and it's believed that an agreement was reached with this group. According to Corey Goode, he has said that after the treaty was signed, a U.S. secret space program began. The U.S. SSP, the secret space program, and the German secret space program tried to infiltrate each other's groups. The German SSP eventually won, and they soon took over U.S. financial systems, the military-industrial complex, and U.S. government, and it was agreed that worldwide corporations would produce equipment for the German secret space program, and this was possible because many U.S. and German industrialists belonged to a secret group who had no national affiliations. This group is known today as the Elite, the Cabal, or the Illuminati. Now, what about Germany's secret space program expansion? There are now many cities under the ice in Antarctica in huge caverns. the German secret space program has expanded beyond comprehension, and many countries around the world have now worked with them in this secret space program in Antarctica, along with the US and the European nations. Many more large corporations from around the world have also collaborated with the Antarctic Germans. Eventually, the SSP, their secret space program, built bases on the moon and Mars, and they still used humans to do their work for them as an enslaved species. William Tompkins says the slave trade is big business and is still happening today. Now we know who William Tompkins is. I'll leave you as he's talking to he talked about extraterrestrials and talks about all this with Project Camelot. And I'll leave you a link to the first part of that, and you can see the second part as well. It's about an hour and a half. Very interesting stuff what he says in there. William Tompkins, the German SSP became known as the Dark Fleet, and the US Navy SSP became as the Solar Warden. Corey Good says the human slave trade is now run by the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, which was started by the elites who secretly control the Earth's government. Now we know about these reptilians are supposedly the reptilians that are seen by us as being in human form. These are the reptilians that Thoth talked about, Thoth the Atlantean who wrote the Emerald Tablets. They're totally against the material world and us and humans, and we should think of them as being demonic, of course. And if we could ever imagine the evil one being incarnate in any ways, these are it. These are reptilians, and they are interdimensional. They have space knowledge, very advanced technology. They have space travel, time travel, you name it. So Corey Good says that concerning this interplanetary corporate conglomerate, which was started by these elites who secretly control the Earth's governments. And again, Thoth in the Emerald Tablets talks about how these reptilians are shapeshifters, and they take over, they do away with the legitimate rulers of the nations, and they take their position, they take their place without anybody knowing, and they rule and they make laws that are totally against God's laws, and they implement and they establish technology which is totally against humans and God's laws again. So dangerous technology, etc. Now the elites believed many humans were being abducted anyway, so they decided to make a profit from that activity. And now Antarctica, concerning Antarctica. The Dark Fleet is still operational in the Antarctic, and they were the first to become aware of its hidden secrets. In recent years, the volcanoes have caused the ice to melt, revealing alien spaceships and many artifacts. And inside these alien spaceships, they have found the bodies of pre-Adamites in stasis chambers. Pre-Adamites have elongated skulls and strange-shaped bodies due to the different gravitational pull on their home planet as opposed to our Earth's. And they are said to have arrived on Earth 55,000 years ago. It's said they arrived from a planet in our solar system, generally assumed to be Mars. It's this group that is believed to have created human-alien hybrids by interbreeding with the humans at the time, and they took over the world with their advanced technology. The Illuminati, elite cabal, or powers that should not be, claim to be descended from the pre-Adamites, and that is why they feel they should rule over the world and we should be their slaves. Humanity, that is not sure how the pre-Adamites came to be frozen in the Antarctic. One theory is the Antarctic was once in a different position, and the poles shifted suddenly, causing the area to freeze instantly. Some of the spaceships have crash-landed in the area, causing another puzzle. Corey Good has visited Antarctica and seen the large caverns and huge cities. He has seen the artifacts and the huge spaceships, and this information, as usual, is being kept secret from the general public by the governments of the world. Now, I don't know in what capacity Corey Good visited Antarctica, because you need, anyone that goes there needs a special permit to go. Not anyone is allowed to go there. Going on with this, there's obviously far more going on around us on this earth than we could ever have realized. More and more information leaks out every day. Emery Smith has stated that the earth will reveal the answers to us all eventually, and in the case of Antarctica, once the ice melts, he will certainly be right. And let's hope we don't have to wait that long. This is by Julie Alexander, Humans Are Free. And this is Creative Commons, and I'll also leave a link to Project Camelot, Cassidy's video, where she interviews William Tompkins, who talks about Selected by Extraterrestrials, part 1, and then you can see part 2 as well. And it talks about how William Mills Tompkins, one of the most important witnesses to come forward, revealed details about the secret space program and human interactions with ETs. He details the German alliance with the Reptilians and Dracos and infiltration of NASA by these beings as well, as the positive contribution by the Nordics to our secret space program, meaning the US, over decades since at least the 1920s and perhaps earlier. And it connects dots on many topics discussed by Tompkins in other interviews, including collaboration of Navy with Nordics and Reptilians involving top aerospace companies such as Northrop, Boeing, Hughes, and many others. And the discussion really happened during the Battle of LA, the beginning of MJ-12, how nearly all US presidents have been ruled by Dracos, and much more. This is by Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot video. It's very interesting because it has to do with what we just read. And yes, and the UFOs over the White House were seen and were pictured as well. So there's a lot of questions out there. What is going on? And of course, this is relevant to what's going on today because of the UFO encounters by the Nimitz pilots that took place in 2004 off the west coast of San Diego. But such events also took place on the East Coast. And this was supposedly also reiterated by President Putin of Russia, who said that most of the world's rulers were controlled by demonic reptilians. I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you for your support. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.